Go.
Is it episode 9?
10, I believe.
Is it 10?
Yeah. Because we didn't have one last week.
That's correct.
She went somewhere.
I did.
Yeah.
I did. I still fitnessed.
Yeah, whatever. No, you didn't. Fitness. Like, I fitnessed.
You fitnessed?
I'm fitting a fitness.
Okay. Are you done?
Yeah. 1 week. Well, let's see. Wait.
We've got like about 10 days before we take off for Birmingham.
10 days, but one more solid week of training.
Yeah.
And then taper, and the games are coming. So we thought we'd talk about, since the games are coming up, in light of what happened the past games with Lazar's passing. I know there's a lot of emotions out there, so we felt it was important to kind of
address it.
Mm-hmm.
There are a lot of people that don't know CrossFit, and that's the first thing they saw, because it was obviously all over the national news and whatnot.
And don't get me wrong, anything that we say in this, like, I mean, it was just a tragedy. Like, you know, words can't really fathom, you know, how you feel about that. And everybody deals with it in a different way. And I know there's a bunch of, you know, social media comments, and, you know, those are the things I really don't like. A lot of the hate and things that were going on, you know.
I saw one that really bothered me. Not the person posting, but people in the comments. And they always say, like, don't read the comments, right?
Yeah.
And Brooke Wells had put something on social media about it, and, you know, kind of having to go through that competition afterwards and making the choice to continue to compete.
Yeah.
And there were some people, man, I don't usually read comments, and I just happened to that day, and they were so ugly. And it was things like, hey, why are you putting a picture of yourself on there while you're competing doing this? And I really disagree with all that hate. Like, you know, if she's putting herself out there and continuing that competition for whatever her personal reasons are, but also because there are thousands of people that showed up there. And if her way of honoring him was to continue to compete and showing people you can use this as a way to deal with hard things in life. I mean, man, like, what kind of person is out there just hammering someone they don't even know about their choices? They don't know what's really going on. I just hate to see that. So I sent her a message, not that Brooke Wells knows me, but if you're in Nashville or Christiana, Brooke, come on down to us.
I mean, that could stem into just some deep conversations of what's wrong with the world today. But
for sure.
I don't fault anybody for however they dealt with it. Some people decided not to compete. Some people decided to. If it was me, I passed, I would want someone to compete for me.
I want to keep going.
You know, I think the biggest thing about CrossFit is community, and leaning on people in the time of need, to me, is like the most important thing there is.
So now, I was not military. I played sports through college, but you were obviously in the military for a long time, and some pretty hard training. I think that's probably an understatement. But I think you would agree that when you are in a situation where you go through something hard with people, relationships are stronger.
Yeah.
Regardless of whatever that situation is, whether it's a training situation, whether it's a real life tragedy, whether it's even preseason where it's hot as can be and you're training for 7 or 8 hours a day together, going through something hard with people forms bonds that can't be faked.
Of course.
And I think that's what people are missing.
Yeah, that's what I think. I mean, unfortunate situation again, but things like this should bring people closer and not tear them apart.
Yeah. That's a choice for people, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like, you could let anything tear you apart.
Yeah. And, you know, the whole swimming thing, I heard a bunch of things about it, and this is what I don't like. And I heard 2 different videos of Chris Henshaw, which he's very intelligent when it comes to these Ironmans and triathlons and things like that. You know, at the beginning of the video, he was talking about how beautiful it was, and it was a perfect situation. The water was like glass. Everything was perfect. It was great. And then when the tragedy happened, there was another video saying, well, why wasn't this there? And then the site wasn't safe, and there were rocks, and there wasn't enough buoys, and, you know, just a lot of contradicting stuff. And I think people talk out of both sides of their mouth, you know, and I just don't like that. It's like they use it for leverage to be put out there, you know. But I'm very interested to see what happens, what the cause was. You know, I know there's an autopsy coming out. I said that right?
Autopsy.
Yeah. You know, so until you really have some educated study of what happened. Did he have cardiac arrest? Was it heat stroke? I don't know. I don't know any of this stuff, but what do we do to prevent that type of stuff, you know? And this isn't the, you know, the only thing that happens. I forget the name of the website, but it's public knowledge. You can go out there and it shows death by athletes, for example, like triathlons and things of that nature, which unfortunately happens a lot.
Yes.
And I think when those things happen, you don't really see people out there just ripping people and tearing people apart.
Well, and I can't imagine a lot of the 5 burpees. I said them again. I think a lot of the criticism is that the run was done first. It was a 5K and then it was 800 meters, correct? And so they were very gassed before getting in the water. And in a triathlon situation, the swim comes first. And so I assume that's out of safety measures. It may just be out of logistics. I'm not sure the rationale completely behind it. But I know a lot of people were critiquing that. But I can't imagine that they would purposely put athletes in a dangerous situation for any reason. Like, it's like, oh, let's just see if we have them run first and then swim, how's it going to be? Was it a terrible lesson? Absolutely yes. But I mean, would that happen if they did it again? Who knows? But for right now, they've canceled all swimming events.
Yeah, I've seen that.
So we'll see. I mean, you've done swims at the CrossFit Games. I've done them at some of the other competitions and whatnot. But you're definitely not going to see it in a week and a half. So that swimming we went and did. Not useful.
And I mean, I'm sure everybody, tomato, has opinions. And Chris Henshaw did say something when he was training for Ironmans, like he was swimming. I think he said like
it's a lot. Several miles a week.
Yeah, tons.
And the games workout only had a half a mile.
Yeah, like 50,000 meters a week, I think it was.
Yeah.
And it's like the most a CrossFit athlete they think was doing was like 2,000 meters. So it's like.
Yeah, but in an Ironman triathlon, you have a 2.4 mile swim.
Right.
And then you have a 112 mile bike, and then you run a marathon. And the duration of that for the winners is like 8.5 hours.
Yeah.
That event was meant to take less than 1 hour. So proportionally, they wouldn't be swimming anywhere near that.
That was the other thing. They were talking about the water temp, and Chris Henshaw. They asked, and I think it has to be like below.
He said 87.8.
87.8. It's supposed to be below, and then they asked him about it in the beginning, and they're like, "Oh, it's around 87 degrees," and he's like, "And you think people don't do these triathlons events in Texas?" So it wasn't a big deal.
Yeah,
but after the fact,
it was a big deal.
It's a big deal. So listen.
In terms of analysis, it probably is good to look at those numbers, but not use it as a critique if you're going to say it one way at the beginning.
No.
At the end, maybe say like, man, maybe we were wrong. Not just.
People are so quick to judge, so quick to spew at the mouth, so quick to change what they were thinking before, instead of sitting back, figuring out what we can do and come together, so stuff like this don't happen again,
Now, CrossFit really, in terms of like coming together and using it as something positive, you have a pretty powerful story about how you got into CrossFit. You gonna share that?
A quick one.
Okay.
It's about 8 minutes. But when I graduated from BUD/S and SEALs training, I got in trouble. I was drinking and had some alcohol-related incidents, and it was a dark time in my life. And so it was taken from me. I ended up having to get out, not operate. Really, really, really dark time. I had problems dealing with it. And when we moved to, I don't know, where did I move? Oh, to Texas, that's right. My wife didn't really like Texas, so we ended up moving to Florida and then migrated to Tennessee, which we love Tennessee. But during those times, I just didn't have anything in my life to where I could really go after, and we found CrossFit. So I found CrossFit and just really fell in love with it after the first workout. And that allowed me
an outlet almost.
An outlet to remove the drinking in my life, because I was still drinking and partying. But when I really found the true essence of CrossFit,
CrossFit isn't the games.
Nah, it's not. But I did have.
It's fun, and for some of us that love to compete, it's really amazing.
I did
But-
have something to compete for.
Yes.
So not only did I fall in love with it,
Mhm.
but then I saw I could compete, but compete with myself,
Yes.
get myself better, remove alcohol, tighter community, more healthy. And it really just saved me
Mhm.
from losing something I was so near and dear to, you know, because of alcohol. You know, just bad choices on my part, but I learned and grew from it. But it was all CrossFit.
Mhm.
That's why I think leaning on it so hard and why I do it to this day, it's still my outlet. So in the midst of just the darkest of times, when you're at the bottom of something, and let's shelf Lazar and his death. What a tragedy! I think about it a lot. When I compete, I'll compete for in this 10 days coming up at the games. But people that are going through anything, or I mean, this is what we're here for. Not only to get healthy, but for community and for a place to you to be able to come and feel safe and get over anything that you're struggling with in life. So those are the biggest struggles with me, and why I want to talk about it, because man, we got to come together.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing like a CrossFit community.
You know, we had some members that had some things going on in their lives, and they didn't come in for about a week.
Mm-hmm.
And then when they came back, I was talking to them. They said we just couldn't. We were so sad. We were so sad. And after a discussion, we talked about how like this is the place to come.
Mm-hmm.
And since then, been here every day.
Yeah.
But it really is, when things are going wrong in your life, coming in, sweating, working hard, doing something you didn't think you could do, changes your mindset about all situations. And it gives you some confidence, and knowing that there's a whole community of people behind you for when bad things happen that are going to come help.
Yeah. Cool.
Mm-hmm.
12 minutes. So what we're going to end it with?
Well, we're doing the workout today.
Yeah, we are doing the
workout. We have another
today.
friend coming over we used to work out with, owns another CrossFit gym across town. And
Alex O'Brien, Barbell Battalion, great group of people.
And he is competing at the CrossFit Games.
Yep.
The Masters Games coming up also for the very first time. So awesome, Alex.
Age group below us.
And we're doing the Lazar workout that Morning Chalk Up came up with a couple years ago.
Yeah. But what I was going to end with, CrossFit is not about the games. Mm-hmm. It's about the affiliates.
It is.
It's about
really
the community.
Is.
So whatever you're suffering from, or whatever you need, you can find it inside your local box. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
If you're near us, come see us. But if not, go find one near you. They won't regret it. I guarantee it.
Best decision you ever make.
Mm-hmm. That's all I got.
Ready?
Yeah.
3, 2, 1. Let's go. Oh, pea shooter.
I like pea shooter.
You got to extend.